I think we are live now. What's up, everyone? We have an information-packed live planned ahead exclusively for the group members here and Finance for Individuals and Business. We are launching our new group feature, which connects you to our entire network here by featuring your business and with a live interview collaboration to share your story and knowledge. At the same time, as more value to you, we wanted to also bring our leading administrator, one of our leading administrators, Erik Mendoza, who is a social media expert and focuses on video production and marketing. So that's pretty huge on social media. Great guy to connect with, and his info will be in the comments. Erik will be diving in and telling you why your social media isn't getting you results, and he'll tell you how to fix it. And we'll go over a couple things. It's going to be good. First things first, myself and a handful of others started this group and our original goal was to find like-minded people to connect with on social media. Like-minded people who share similar passions for a better tomorrow, to find other leaders and builders for the future, people who think big picture and people who want to think big picture. Because let's face it, we all had to start somewhere. Nobody came out of the womb or petri dish with the mindset of failing forward. It's very different. And having that undying, burning passion for whatever you're doing and your current interest or dreams are. I'm a firm believer that if you actually paved a path in business or life, you owe it to yourself to share your story and your experience with others to really help people. And that's why that's what we really organized here. Finance for Individuals and Businesses geared so you grow, not just us. We're here to share our journey, and hundreds of other members here are leading entrepreneurs in their niche, just like Erik, who are willing to share, help, guide. And as we all grow, the fact is we just grow faster together, period. And that was kind of the introduction. Just want to be fully transparent. I'd like to kind of dial it back and just have a conversation with Erik. I think the format of drive information can be kind of overwhelming sometimes. And plus, Erik's a pretty cool guy to talk to. What's up, Erik? You want to introduce yourself?
What's up, Brian? Thank you for that. I like the intro too, by the way, man.
Thanks.
Yeah, so thank you. So I'm Erik Mendoza, out of Texas. I've been doing videography for about 5 years, and I've had my business going for about, honestly, two and a half years now, as far as focusing on video marketing and strategy. Uh, Come to find out, after a few years of doing video, we're seeing that one video doesn't just get you results. You need more. You need more of a strategy. You need a plan. So after about a couple of years in the works, we saw what was working for us, decided to implement that with our clients, and whether it's growing your brand or it's getting you more clients, the strategy, it works. So that's where we're at today.
Yeah, for sure. That's awesome. And if nobody's ever seen Erik's reels or his any of his other videos, he also gives out free courses, tips, and sends them out on a Google Doc, and it's pretty awesome. There's a lot of stuff that's streamlined in there. So if you've never seen his stuff, definitely check it out. But dude, that's awesome. I kind of was curious, like about more of the trends that you're seeing because in social media, it's a lot of it is trends. What
Mm-hmm.
is going to grab attention? Because attention is, the rarest commodity you can buy, and it's not something you can. It costs a lot of money. But with social
Mm-hmm.
media, it's free advertisement, and that's what a lot of businesses are using it for. It's free advertisement. Um, Instead of having to go out and spend thousands or hundreds of thousands on marketing, either online or on something else. But social media has really connected a lot of other businesses. Um, I'm just curious what kind of trends you're seeing, especially whenever you got into the industry compared to what you're seeing now. since it's been a couple of years now?
Right, that's a great question. So there are a lot of trends going on. I always say pick the one that you feel best suits you and your business. I know when, for example, TikTok came about, everybody was singing and dancing, and that didn't just work for everybody, and it got them views. Yeah, there's some videos that got millions of views, but people are finding out quickly that just because you're getting a lot of views doesn't mean you're getting in sales. It doesn't mean you're growing your brand the right way, and let's just be real. Like singing and dancing just isn't for everybody. I'm not going to be doing any of that personally, but so right now, what there's a few trends going on. Um, there's nothing wrong with, and I do want to make that clear. Like, there's nothing wrong with trends, right? Having like the trending audio, the trending B-roll, or the captions. Sometimes they have their place. If you feel like, hey, that would be cool, let me try it out. Go for it. But depending on trends alone, it's really, you have a better chance of going viral or getting more views, but not turning those views into clients. That's where the trouble is. So what we're doing is focusing on value. How are you going to provide solutions for your audience? Building that trust and that authority figure of who you are in the industry, so people know what you're about. And that's what we try pushing, and that's what we push for our clients, and it seems to do way better. I've had clients that they were doing the views thing for a while. I've had clients that have gotten a couple million views on their videos, but they weren't seeing an increase in sales. They got literally zero people in their DMs. And that's crazy when you think about it. You would think, well, I got 2 million people watching me, why I should have an increase in sales. But the truth is, that's not really how it works. So that's why
Right.
we're big on pushing as much value as possible. um, just build that relationship. That's how you feel, that's how you make the other person watching you feel like they can relate to you. So yeah, that's just what we're doing now.
Yeah, it sounds like um, creating a cold customer or converting a cold customer into a warm customer before even talking to them. Um, yeah, just giving value is tremendous. That's obviously what we do here, and that's kind of why we focus it, and that's why I mean everything kind of works. I think value is. I think people who withhold information thinking that it's like a job security thing,
Hmm.
um, especially in corporate America, that's a pretty big there. But outside of that, when you meet your competitors and stuff like that, a lot of people are going to withhold information. And I've found that sharing this information and being transparent about your process just changes things, changes that relationship. But sorry, I kind of drifted a little bit. But on the social media trends, I honestly don't do a lot of video
Hmm.
or anything like that. I've done it here and there. Tried to make it entertaining. But one of the trends that I was actually curious about is captions, because you mentioned it. Captions was kind of a big thing, especially when people sit there in meetings and just scroll through their phone, even though their volume isn't on, or maybe they just got an earpiece in. Um, and I've noticed that my captions, the captions needed to not be, let me see, here at the bottom of the screen, it actually needed to be like upper closer to my mouth.
Hmm.
So like they can read and see me at the same time.
Hmm.
Um, that's just something that I learned. I thought that was pretty interesting. I never would have thought of that until I saw it. But
Right.
um,
If I
out,
can I add something right there,
yeah,
brother?
yeah.
Yeah, if I can add that, and captions are great, and they're in all my videos. And it is trending. And I would say that, but I do also want to add, like, you don't need captions as well, as long as your video has value. That's the most important thing. Captions definitely are, they're helpful, and you're right. When sometimes someone's audio isn't always on and they
Hmm.
can read, they're
Right.
very, very helpful. But it's like I discuss with my team, when we're in the editing room and we're cutting up the video,
Hmm.
we're making sure that message is as dialed in as possible. So it's really that core message of the solution you're bringing to your audience
Right.
that you really want to focus on, and then the captions and the B-roll, the sound effects, the music, all that's like basically the icing on the cake, right?
Right.
So it definitely. I just wanted to throw that out there with the captions and.
Yeah, no, for sure. I don't think captions belong on every single video, and sometimes they only belong on like 50% of the video because you're right. And whenever you're talking about it, I was just thinking of your reels because you're talking about something and it shows a picture of what you're talking about, so people can immediately see what you're talking about to give them a visualization. Um, but there's no captions right there on that same frame or same slide.
Mhm.
So I get it. So that's the value that you're referring to.
Yes,
Um,
sir.
uh, but yeah, no, that's pretty cool. Um, Yeah, there was another thing we talked about not too long ago on Reels that I thought was super, super cool. Do you remember the thought reversals?
Oh, the thought reversals. Yeah,
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 yeah. I just thought of that while you were talking. You want to go into that
yeah,
and,
yeah.
and kind
So
of kind of how that's created or kind of what you do, your process there? I think that's super cool because those videos were the most engaging to me. I know it's
mhm.
not the same for everyone, but to me, when you say something and it's the opposite of what you mean, it's just really interesting. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, yeah, no worries at all. I can get into that process. So, how we usually like to start off is like, let's say, like month one, we'll start, educating the audience, right? That's the strategies based on education. Here's 5 steps to this. Here's 3 tips for that. Just your basic education. Number two, like usually like month two, we're gonna go into personal beliefs. That's where you're starting to almost antagonize a little bit. Really, I've worked with people that are very bold, but I've worked with people that are very conservative also. So, um, you might get some pushback in it, but really, the personal beliefs are great if you really want to build that relationship. You know, um, so the in the third month, that's where we go to thought reversals. So thought reversal is basically like how to shift and guide that your audience into shifting their perspective to something different. Um, and that really seems to, it goes a long way because it's you're helping someone reconsider their position. Like, I didn't know how much work went into that. So if I can give tips on scripting, right? But then when I break down the scripts and when I say, here's why your scripts aren't working, and then I break down the the ways it's not working, it kind of shifts their thought process into like, one, I might antagonize them because they'll be like, who are you to say my scripts aren't working or what I'm saying on video is wrong? But then they get the step process that makes sense, and it's like, oh, and they start to reconsider. And I'm obviously not being rude about it in the video,
Right, right.
um, but it shifts that perspective, and it makes you think, and makes them think there's a lot more into that than I thought. And I'm sure we all know as business owners, whatever you're getting into, it's people. Some people will assume, oh, they're just doing that. Like, it's not too much. I can do that, and it's fine. That's human nature. Oh, we can do that
Right,
ourselves.
right.
But then they know a little bit more about what goes into it, and they're like, hold on. They start to reconsider their positioning. That's where
Yeah.
the professionals come into play. So
Yeah. It's like a kind of either a bold or semi-bold statement and then kind of debunking it. It's it's
yeah,
pretty interesting. It's
yeah.
pretty interesting. Someone asked, what apps do you use for videos, more specifically for captions? You
Oh,
want to take that?
yeah, yeah. Great question. Great question. So, we personally, my editors, they use Adobe Premiere, and I know that's kind of up there for a lot of people, but CapCut is very popular. I honestly I would go with CapCut. I'm gonna be honest, I'm not super professional at it, but every time I go in to edit something really quick and easy, it's very simple. So I know like I know my daughter, she's 12 years old, you know, she can figure out CapCut easy. So CapCut, it is time consuming if you're doing all the captions, the photos and all that, but it will get the job done.
For sure. I figured you would say CapCut. CapCut's what I used. Even whenever I made all my reels, my videos never saw a laptop or a computer. I recorded from my phone,
Mhm.
uploaded to CapCut, cut it up, zoomed in on certain parts, just made it more entertaining. So it's not like the same frame. But yeah, CapCut's pretty easy to do that on. And there is even a desktop application that you can get that saves your work and everything. I mean, the mobile saves your work also, but people like mouse and keyboard or touchpad.
Yeah,
But CapCut's
CapCut's
great.
impressive. It's very impressive.
What do you like the most about what is it? Adobe Pro Premiere is the name?
Adobe Premiere Pro, yes.
So I've never played with it. Is it like, what's it like?
It's one of it's probably like a higher end of a software, and as far as editing goes, there are a lot more capabilities when it comes to editing in there. And like I said, it's not necessary, but let's say you want to, knock out 15, 20 videos. You're I'm going to be way faster on a desktop on Adobe Premiere, than CapCut on my phone trying to knock out 15, 20 videos.
Right.
So, but like I said, it's not necessary. It's more like there are movies that are edited
hmm
on Adobe Premiere, So yeah, it's pretty good.
That's that's cool. Yeah. How expensive is it?
Oh, Adobe Premiere is not expensive at all. I know I have the Creative Cloud um, membership for like $32 a month.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah, yeah. But honestly, you know what? Don't quote me on that because I don't know if I use a discount code with one of the my film courses I use,
hmm
but it might be a little bit more. But I don't see it being Creative Cloud over $100. But Creative Cloud,
Yeah.
I had Photoshop, Lightroom, Adobe Premiere, and a few other Adobe apps.
What's Lightroom?
Lightroom is basically to edit photos.
Gotcha. Interesting. That's pretty cool. So kind of, if you don't mind, go into detail on what you do and kind of how you help clients, some mistakes that you kind of see early on and kind of how you streamline that process for them. Because I think a lot of people want to be in a position where things are more streamlined,
Hmm.
um, especially doing it on their own without having to hire anyone. They just want to get to that point so they can make themselves a little more stable on social media before hiring someone. So it's almost like gift wrapping them
Hmm.
to to you.
Right,
Not in a bad way, but like this is someone who has a good base. But
right.
but yeah, kind of what's your process whenever you first start?
The process. So how to process, and I could break that down. But I really love the way you asked that question because not everyone is, they're not ready for a whole marketing team yet. But what we do, anybody can do when you're starting out. And I think we've all been there when we first start our businesses. We're doing all the work. We're doing the marketing, the financing. We're doing everything, right?
Yeah.
But how we do it is we do an onboarding call, and what we do is we go through a niche document and we start to find out a little bit more about your niche, your audience. We dive into the pain points. So, what are your audience's pain points? How are they feeling? What are they struggling with? And then we discuss more about your solutions and how they connect with that. From there, and this is where um, anyone could pretty much do this part. You break down your audience's problems and your solutions. You tie them together, and you break them down into your content ideas. You can do that in like an hour. You can come up with 30 content ideas in like 30 minutes to an hour. And then from that process, once you have your content ideas set up, you go and you break them down into your scripts. Make sure your hooks are good. We're not gonna hop on video and be like, "Hi, my name is Erik." People are gonna keep scrolling because nobody cares that my name is Erik. It's a social media, so we got like 2 seconds to catch someone's attention.
Yeah.
So we're gonna start off with a captivating hook, a bold statement, or a qualifying question. I'm sorry, and a qualifying question.
Right.
And then you follow in with the value as soon as possible. Make sure the value is easily digestible, easy to understand. And then you would either end the video with something inspiring or a call to action, like a follow me if you want to learn more about this. Follow if you're a realtor, follow to sell your dream home or to buy your dream home. Or
Right.
follow to sell your home faster. So that and from there, if you can batch film all your scripts, if you can batch from your content ideas, your scripts, and about 2 to 4 hours, that's how long it takes us. 2 to 4 hours, you basically film up to, once you get good at it, film up to 30 to 60 videos if you want. And from there you put in the editing process. That's the most time consuming part, is the editing process. um, and you start that, you start the editing process, so that way if you can get that done in about a week or two, you have a whole batch worth of content that can keep you going for like a good month or two. If you can't afford a marketing agency and you just need an editor, then I recommend go to Fiverr. There's people that will do like $10 a video. So I'm definitely I'm not here to talk down on Fiverr. I support Fiverr, but there's a lot of good editors over there. You know what I'm saying? So I
Right.
would
Right.
definitely go get that going, and then you go and start posting every single day, see what's working, see what isn't. On the other side of things, on that whole process, to probably about month two, we're implementing funnels and automations too. That's a whole different ballgame. But we do dive into that a little bit more. I'm sorry for such a long answer, Ryan.
No, no, no. That's good. That's good.
um,
Because it was the entire process, or kind of just at least how to get started.
yeah, and
Uh,
that's the process. So then there's the strategy behind it to back them up. That if you want to go into that, we can dive into that too. But I'm here to answer your questions, Ryan. I'm not trying
yeah.
to
No,
steal the show.
no, you're good. Why don't you go into it? Because I mean, I think we'll be cutting it here pretty soon anyway. I think value's been good so far. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah, no problem, no
So
problem.
after you, so kind of the initial step is creating that face, that brand, and once it's consistent, it doesn't even have to be perfect. As long as you're fixing, one thing every single time. It doesn't have to be go and change a million things on the next video. Um,
Hmm.
yeah, whenever I was making reels, I would see a million things wrong and I wanted to change all of them. There's a couple of people, including you, I think, who told me just to kind of take it slow. Don't beat up on yourself so much.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think that's how a lot of people are. Um, Especially whenever they're first starting out, because they see all the other like professional Adobe Pro Premiere real bits with slide-in graphics and the cool sounds and all that stuff. So starting from CapCut or something similar is definitely discouraging sometimes, but you get the hang of it
Hmm.
after a bit. So once you kind of get that foundation going, um, there's a million different directions that you can really take your brand, and kind of what you want to do and strategize. But what do you really focus on in the phase two piece that you're referring to?
Yeah, great question, great question. And I also want to add real quick, man. Thank you for putting that out there. That just post, just get your content out there. It's not going to be perfect. If there one of the You asked about mistakes earlier, I never got into that, but definitely one of the mistakes is I see people just worrying about trying to look and sound perfect. You're not going to look and sound perfect in your first videos. Just post it. As long as you're posting value in that content, you're not going to go wrong. We care about, there's nothing wrong with caring about how you look and how you sound, but that will get in our way. Like, so if you want to get out of that mindset, just start posting and you'll see what you can do better. And it goes a long way. But to answer your question, so the other component of our process would be the strategy. So I just gave you all the logistics side of things, right? And you can definitely do that on your own if you're first starting out. But then the strategy, which you can still do on your own, it's going to start with your main offer, right? So what is your offer for your business? What is the best result you're able to deliver to your clients? And so that offer, once you have that offer, that'll tie into all your other content, and it's going to kind of build like a funnel. So
Hmm.
at the top of the funnel is going to be awareness, and in that awareness portion, that's where the videos come into play. It's more, it's putting as much value out as possible to let people be aware of who you are. Here's a lot of things. Here's one thing that most people don't know about is when you post on Instagram, I would say about 70 to 80% of strangers are going to view that content. Our That's why we call our strategy turning strangers into clients or slash raving fans, because mainly strangers, people that aren't following you, are going to see that content. So once you start posting valuable content and you're getting strangers to view that, right? And they're viewing short form videos because they don't know you. You're getting straight to the point, right? A stranger's not going to sit there and watch a 5-10 minute video of you and they don't even know who you are.
Right.
So the next portion would be the lead generating, right? So on your call to actions and your captions, if your videos, you know, if it's streamlined pretty well, they're gonna be in your DM. So a call to action to get them to lead generation would be DM the word, DM the word. If you're a realtor, DM the word home seller, and we can set up a free consultation today, or I'll give you this free training, whatever your tactic may be.
Hmm.
So from the lead generation, right? Now they're coming down the funnel. Then they're going to be in the lead nurturing portion. Now the lead nurturing portion is where most people mess up. They either try to sell them. They're like, oh, someone's in the DMs. Hey, they're pushing that sell
Hmm.
instead of nurturing them. So what you want to do is guide them to a sales call or a landing page where they can book a call with you, right? So you're there answering questions there still, like what can you do? How can you provide solutions for their problems? Make sure you have trainings built out. If they're not long form training videos, make sure you have some kind of a guide, at least, a PDF
Right.
guide or something to nurture that lead as the conversation's going. And then from there, we find about every 3 to 4 trainings you push out there throughout the conversation, you can convert them to the sales conversion of that part, which is down the funnel. So also in the lead nurturing phase before I jump to the sales is where your qualifying questions are going to be. Some people, they can't afford our services, which is fine. That's the best part of giving value. It's just, you know, here's a free training. If, once you get on your feet, hopefully you add more value to their life, whatever the case may be.
Right.
And
You
so
can only
that,
because
sorry.
you can only show them the door.
Hmm.
There's only so much you can do whenever they're at that stage, and it's not against them or against you. Um, I mean, yeah, it's just I do the same thing. I do the same thing on social media, even my cold outreach. Sometimes I will say, hey, um, not sure what you're doing for this, but I wrote an article about this. Here you go. Hope you have a good one. Here to answer any questions,
Hmm.
something like that. But yeah, no, providing resources and tips, having a guide, something like that is really, really powerful. Sorry to interrupt.
No, no, yeah, you're right on the money. That's instead of reaching out trying to, hey, we're here to, if you need any help, I'd love to help. Everyone says that. It's,
Yeah,
hey, if just in case, if you don't know how to do this, here, you can, go do it yourself. Just, some people may not be able to afford you, but either
right.
way, even if they can, you're building that trust with them. And that's what the lead nurturing is all about. You're building trust. with them, and they see that this guy really knows what he's talking about. So,
Right.
or girl knows what he's talking about. So,
Yeah. That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, that whole funnel piece, kind of bringing them down that funnel. That's a huge piece. A lot of people can't really visualize or see because that's the long-term picture thinking. That's not kind of scurrying, trying to get a sale from anyone and everyone kind of thing.
hmm
Um, it's it's very opening and transparent, which is nice. Um, but yeah, no, that's awesome. That's awesome, man. Well, uh, do you have anything else that you wanted to add or throw in? We've been on for 30. I don't want to run your time up. I'm sure you got something to do.
no, you're good, brother. You're good. Really, just kind of going back to what you were saying. You know, post. Don't get discouraged if no one's hitting you up. There's always something you can do better, and there's a whole strategy in it. Like uh, one post isn't gonna start growing your business. You have to do more.
Yep.
You have to work the DMs. That strategy you have, and you don't just work the DMs. Just by trying to sell. There's a whole strategy that comes into play.
Hmm.
So it's not. I know. So it's free to post, and you're right. Social media marketing. It's basically free marketing, but it's still work. And your posts won't do anything if you don't have a strategy. So I'm glad. Thank you, Ryan. Before I let you go, thank you for the your time, and I appreciate the group. This group has a lot of value. I read all of y'all's posts, and just giving out the free information goes a long way. So I definitely feel like I'm in the right group.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. I definitely appreciate that. No, I thought you would fit in from the beginning. I want to say I added you maybe 3 years ago, and you're like, "Who is this dude?"
It was a while
Um,
back, but yeah.
yeah, we'll have to look up the first message, go back like a hopeless romantic or something, and yeah, and figure out how I snagged you, how I lured you in with my gusto.
Right, he got that. You got that marketing on lock, the networking, man.
The-
Like he just here to help. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
right.
So we
Um,
appreciate you, Ryan.
yeah, no, I appreciate that, but no, it's always a collaborative effort and trying to push you and you trying to push me and just finding individuals like that. I think it's great. But anyway, it's been a pleasure. I'm sure we'll have you back on here in the future. Um, I'm excited to see a lot of your reels and everything. Keep them flowing into the group and everything. But yeah, thanks again, Erik. Um, thanks again, everyone. Thanks for joining us. Again, this is the group feature that we're introducing with business owners, so we can connect you to our network. And we're going to be doing this every single week. If you have any questions, feel free to put a comment below or shoot me a DM or any of the admins or moderators, including Erik. Erik, if you don't mind throwing your information in the comments when we drop off here in the group, so it could be easily found, I think that would kind of streamline a handful of the people that probably want to reach out to you. But
Will do.
I appreciate it, sir. Thank
Yes,
you. You
sir.
have a good day, man.
Y'all too. Thank you.
Thanks. Bye.